shooting at City Hall as an example of what I've touched on already, to give you some idea of what that was like. And what you will be reading if you purchase the book. The shooting at City Hall. After being elected to City Council, one of the first things that I and the newly elected Mayor, Ron Loveridge, got involved in was an attempt to reinstate Joseph Neal in his former position of teaching chess at Boardwell Park. The mayor and I met with Joe Neal and listened to his explanation of the value of teaching young minority kids to play chess. We then arranged a meeting with the manager of the park facility, Jeannie Williams, to try to persuade her to reinstate Joe Neal. Mrs. Williams said, absolutely not. He doesn't follow instruction. After that meeting, we discontinued our efforts. Shortly after Joe Neal served a subpoena to the mayor, city manager, and other city employees, including me, to appear and testify before an administrative law judge, Joe Neal lost his attempt to get reinstated as a judge upheld the dismissal. Thus began Joe Neal's regular attendance at city council meetings every Tuesday. He was very visible in the audience, but said nothing. The one thing that he did do on a regular basis was write letters to decision makers in the community, such as the school superintendent, county supervisors, the governor, and the city council member, at least to me. He complained in a nutshell, his complaint rather in a nutshell, was the city's treatment of minorities. He wrote passionately on this topic. On a few occasions during a break in the council meetings, I would talk to Joe Neal. He was very fond of his mother and grandmother and appeared to be greatly influenced by them. In the letters I received from him, and I received many, he often mentioned them. I never realized how bitter and angry he was over his dismissal from Boardwell Park. On October 6, 1998, all hell broke loose. My colleague and close friend, Chuck Beatty, the first ward councilman, and I went into City Hall and walked downstairs to the council chambers. There stood Joe Neal holding a briefcase on the ledge near the front entrance. We greeted him as we were accustomed to seeing him at council meetings. Chuck and I said, "Hi, Joe." Whether or not he returned the greeting, I don't recall. Chuck and I proceeded to the closed session room of the chambers, where we always found donuts and coffee. Not more than 5 minutes later, Joe Neal burst into the room. He said nothing. He didn't say a word and began firing away with a 9mm pistol. At first I thought it was the sound of firecrackers going off until I saw Joe with the gun. Alex Clifford, the 5th Ward council member, the mayor, and I ducked for cover under the Lloyd's table in the center of the room. Alex ducked under the table but continued out the rear door. The mayor and I lay side by side, quietly watching the event unfold. Chuck Beatty and Laura Pearson, 7th Ward councilwoman, tackled Joe Neal in an attempt to disarm him. pistol whipped Laura and shot Chuck Beatty point blank 3 times. At the rear of the room near the clone and rear door lay Terry Thompson, the 6th Ward councilwoman. I thought she was dead, and I thought the same thing about Laura Pearson, 7th Ward councilwoman, who lay quietly near the front door. John Holmes, the city manager, appeared at the rear door